Hi, Patricia, and in today's training, I want to share with you the SCAMPER technique for product creation. And when I speak about product creation, I'm referring to digital e-commerce, where you are either creating, say, a course, or writing a book, or even producing a seminar, and so on. So the scamper technique is a very powerful technique that was discovered way back in the 50s, and this is not me who created that. In fact, there are white papers being written about this method, and even university has actually written about it. So before we get into the scamper method or the scamper technique, let's touch base on today's training about product. I mean, why do we bother to even say wanting to know how to use a scamper technique? Why do we want to create a good product? Well, it all falls back into marketing and also building your business, because the whole concept of creating a product in terms of our business is so that we can sell it, so that it sells on its own. I mean, obviously, there's no such product where it's being created and without any marketing it will be sell on its own, right? But what we want to do is that to create a product with that intention, in the sense that when you want to create a product, you want to have that mindset that, hey, this product will sell on its own, so to speak. This way, your marketing effort doesn't need to be that much work. But let's say if you're good with marketing, imagine how far your product will fly, because now you have a good product and with good marketing. Make sense? So let's start with the origin of the scamper method. Well, Scamper was proposed by Alex Osborne in 1953 and was further developed by Bob, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Ebel in 1971 in his book. And of course, today there are many other creative thinkers and even marketers who extended this thoughts this method to the next level and so on. Some of them have adapted into certain products and certain industry. So what does scamper stands for? S stands for substitute, C stands for combine, A stands for adjust or adapt, M stands for modify, P stands for put, and E stands for eliminate. Then we have R stands for reverse. So you could be using any of these 7 formulas in order for you to create a good product. Now, the whole concept is this: how this formula can help you to accelerate or to save you a lot of time is because you're going to use this formula based on, say, a winning product or an existing product that you have, how you can quote unquote modify it by using any of these formulas, or well, several of these formulas into one core product. So let's say you spot a winning product, right? Instead of you wasting your time to create another winning product, how about using these 7 formulas to see which one that you can use on this specific winning product by your competitor to create another product of your own. Now I know it sounds a bit complicating at this moment of time, so once you go through with me today's training, you understand where I come from, you understand what I mean. So let's start with the first one. So let's get started. There are basically two steps for you to apply this overall product creation by using Scamper technique. First, you find a winning product, right? Then from that winning product, you use a Scamper method. Then from that winning product, you use the Scamper technique. So this winning product, now it could be say a winning product that you saw in product launches. It could be a winning product that has been around for years. It could be a very evergreen product that you know it has gone through battle tested that this is a winning product. And you can find this winning product on the internet, observing your competitors, or even going to website like clickbank.com and so forth, right? Now, in order for me to give you a good training and to enhance the learning, we have to come up with, say, an example, right? So for discussion's sake, let's say that the winning product is a book about funnel, and that is going to be the example. And you're going to use the scamper technique on this product, which is the product is a book about funnel. It doesn't have to be any specific author, but let's say we found that. Let's say we have found this book to be a winning product, a best-selling product. All right. So we're going to start with the S, stands for substitute. So what do I mean about substitute? Now, when I share with you this training, I'm not specifically religiously following the scamper technique. I'm using that as a backbone in order for me to teach you in today's training. Make sense? So what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not telling you as scamper as it is. If you want to know that, you can Google about it, or you can even download the white paper from a university that I'm attaching here with you. So, in my definition here, based on the scamper method or the scamper technique, substitute means this: substitute the existing material or the content of the book with something else. So, here's two examples. The first one is that you could substitute the text, the content of the book with audio and or video, or you could turn the physical book into a digital version. Now, before we continue, I want to make it clear to you. I'm not asking you to copy someone else's product and turn into audio or video so that it becomes your product. That would be violating intellectual property to the maximum, right? You're not allowed to do that. So I'm just giving you the understanding of it. So for instance, if there's a book about funnel that is a winning product and you observe how um, the content is and so on, and then you create your own book or you write your own book about funnel as well. But instead of selling that as a book, you could apply the substitute concept and turn the book into an audio or a video course instead. Or instead of having that as a physical book, it could be a digital version ebook like available in Kindle, for example, right? Now, of course, the substitute concept here is also defined for your own product. So let's say you have a winning product. Let's say that you do have a book about funnel that is selling very well. It's your own winning product. And what you can do is that you can now use the scamper technique by applying the formula of substitute and create another quote unquote product out of your own winning product. But instead of having it as a physical book, now you have created that as an audio course or video course, and now you have just opened up your new market. In fact, you could be selling to the same customers, and now you will be so-called doubling your profit. So let's move to the second formula. It's called combine. So how do you create a new product that can sell on its own based on a winning product by applying the combine formula? So the definition of combine here is basically combining additional content material or parts to the existing product. Now, in this existing product, in this case, is well a book about funnel. So what can you do? Well, very simple. You can combine more things to the existing winning product. So if you want to compete with your competitor who has say, a book, what you can do is that you can add an additional video walkthrough course like how to use a funnel because they may enjoy reading it, they may get the ideas, but when it comes to implementing it, like executing it, well, they may have a big problem to achieve that. So this is where you come in with your product where it has additional video walkthrough course. Or it could be that it combines with another additional book that you have. So the funnel book is valuable, but however, maybe they need to know how to say do email marketing, right? I mean, if you build a funnel, you'll be building say email lists, you'll be capturing leads. So well, you may need additional training on how to say do email marketing, how to monetize your list, and so on. So maybe you could have an additional book on that specific topic to so-called complete this winning product. Or, well, you could combine it with, say, a community for discussion and support towards your own product. Where else your competitor may not have that. Your competitor will just sell, say, the funnel book, and that's it. They do not have a community for the readers to discuss further. So far, so good? Great. So let's go to the third formula. The third formula is called adjust and also adapt or adapt. So it's almost the same. It's basically means this. Adapt it to a certain group of users or customers. Now just think about this. So this book, your competitor that you spot this winning product a book about funnel. Now, this book may be sold to all internet marketers or digital marketers. However, you could adjust it or adapt it to a certain group of users or customers. In this case, as an example, you could turn your product applicable for affiliate marketers. Like, how do affiliate marketers use funnel for their own business, right? Because the concept is the same, the strategy may be the same, but in terms of the approach, well, it's a bit different because affiliate marketers do not have their own products. They are promoting, say, an affiliate program. You could have, say, a funnel for newbies because newbies, well, they need different kind of training. They may need more so-called walkthroughs type of training, more tutorial based, or well, funnel for experienced marketers, like how to go advanced, like how do you monetize the funnel, how do you expand the funnel, how do you create advanced funnels, and so on. Because these will cater for a different group again. So let me just give you an example. Let's say you are an experienced marketer and you saw this book about funnel, and in the book description, like on the sales page, it mentioned that it covers A to Z of how to set up funnel. Now, if you're an advanced or experienced marketer, by reading that will be a turn off because you will know that is going to waste your time because you already know how to set up a funnel. You just want to know how to market the funnel or how to well turn the funnel into something very very profitable, right? Or it could be say funnel by using a specific platform. There are several types of funnel builders out there in the market today. For instance, one that is very famous is called ClickFunnels. I think there are Unbounce and several other so-called funnel builders at the same time. But what if you have your book about funnel specifically on say using WordPress? So now you're telling them you can actually build a funnel by using a free platform. Maybe there's a small fee to buy the right themes or the right plugins and so on, but relatively it will be um, lower in cost compared to subscribing to a funnel builder in that sense. So now you have just crafted your own audience. And let's move to point four, is called modify. This is how you modify the existing winning product of your competitor or even your own product to become better. And when you create a better version, you have now created your new own winning product. So let's talk about the concept of modification when it comes to this specific example of, say, a book about funnel. So what you can do in order to modify is to add missing chapters. So in this book, let's say you go through the book, you research your competitor, and then you feel that, hey, you know what? There could be additional chapters that will help the readers. So can you think of these additional chapters that would be useful for someone who wants to learn about funnels? Of course, again, I'm using a book about funnel as an example here. The truth is that, this method that I'm teaching you, this training, can be applicable towards any other products that you are planning for, even physical products to a certain degree. So the next thing you can do is to make it more comprehensive. So this book, is it comprehensive enough? So we're not just talking about the missing chapters, but the structure of the modules, the structure of the chapters. Are they comprehensive? Can someone actually execute what they have learned from this book by reading the book? You can also modify it to add case studies inside the book, like how, say, you are using funnel, how other people are using funnel, how your own customers are using funnels, how your friends are using funnels. Just think what kind of case studies that you can add inside this product so that it becomes, well, a better version. And the next one is this, is that can you also modify it so that it serves a larger group of the audience? So for instance, right, now instead of, say, funnel for the digital marketers, which is very broad, maybe funnel for any business. Like anyone can actually use a funnel in their business. Even though if they are not online, they should consider to use funnel in their business. So for instance, a restaurant, they could attract customers by using, say, Groupon with something that is very low cost, and then they come in, then they have their own funnel for from the food menu to, lack of a better word, to upsell them the winning product. So can it be modified to serve even a larger group of audience? Like for instance, in the internet marketing world, usually we are serving those digital marketers or those who wants to, say, learn how to start their online business. But what if we can also serve the self-help niche or the wealth creation niche, like those people who are looking for ways on how to create more wealth? Maybe they can use a funnel to create wealth. Who knows, right? Maybe if they are seeking ways to increase their income, well, they can use a funnel. Does this make sense now? So let's move to the next one, called put. Now, put is a bit interesting because in the original scamper method, I mean, just imagine this scamper. The whole technique was first introduced way back in the 50s, right? And it was modified again in the 70s and go through a few rounds of modification and so on. At that moment of time, nobody have an ebook, right? So the whole concept of put is a bit different at that moment of time. So they were thinking more towards like physical products, like how can they put it differently in a sense, like how can they put the physical product into different use. So let me just give you an example. Let's say during that time there's a radio, right? So can this radio play cassette tapes as well, right? Then they are putting the same product to different use. So that's how they create a new winning product. So that's the concept of put. So When it comes to the digital product, it's a bit different. So the put concept I have here in mind is called put to different place. That how can you put your product to a different place? Like in this case, is how can you use the same product and put it in a new market for the same winning product? Can you find a new market? So remember earlier I mentioned about modify, where you modify the product to fit to suit a specific new market. Well, in this case, you're not really modifying the product, but you're just putting it into a different marketplace. Okay. So, like for instance, it could be like a totally different niche market, right? Or it could be put into, say, a new platform. For instance, right? What if you put it in a different country? So let's say your product is successful in United States. What if you put it in UK? Both are still English speaking countries. Then of course, if you are leveraging on spotting a winning product from a competitor, then of course you will have, say, a book about funnel. Again, not something that you copied the content from, say, your competitor. I mean, you are taking uh, the topic and doing your own reverse engineer to a certain degree so that you have your own uniqueness, all right? And the next one is called eliminate. Now, eliminate will make sense strongly for the physical product world in the past. So when it comes to the digital e-commerce, it's a bit different because in our industry or in the nature of our product, we sort of have abundance. We don't have lack of space in that sense. We don't have additional cost by having extra chapters, right? Because it's digital product, or should I say information product. But here's how I would define eliminate. Eliminate the parts or content that can make the product to become better. So it doesn't mean that more is better all the time. I mean, if you ask me, would I prefer to read a book that is 100 pages long or 300 pages long? You know what's my answer, right? It's going to be 100 pages long. In fact, if you come to my house and you look at my bookshelf, as I'm looking at right now, there's this book which I don't want to mention the name of it. It's by a very famous author, and I bought it because I love this author, the way how he write and how he shares information. But until today, I still haven't unwrapped the book because it's so thick, and I just don't have the motivation to start the book when I feel that I couldn't really finish it. And I read other books that is like less thicker in that sense. So can you eliminate it so that it become less pages? Because there could be, pages that are not necessary to be there. I mean, less pages could also be, changing the font size, the spacing, and so on. Less chapters. Are there certain chapters that, well, they don't need to be there? Could they be removed? And lastly, less steps. Now, less steps may not be specifically accurate for this example of a book about funnels, but less steps may make sense in other tutorial-based content or even software tools. So let's say there's a winning product which is a software, and it may take 5 steps for them to accomplish something. What if that can be done in just 2 steps? Click one, click two, bam, the whole thing starts to run by itself. So by having less steps, well, that is the concept of eliminating. And to me, it's a form of this scamper. And to me, it's a form of scamper technique where you're able to eliminate certain part of it. And lastly, it's called reverse. So what do I mean by reverse? So in the old times, the whole concept of reverse is, can the product be created the other way around? I can't think of a specific idea at this moment of time, but there are certain things that can be done backwards, and that create a brand new product of its own. So the one that I can think of right now for our digital e-commerce business is basically reversing or rearranging the flow of the content. So when you're producing the content or the course, or in this case, say writing the book, can it start with the end results and then work backwards instead of teaching them like from step one, step two, step three, and so on? So what I'm trying to say is this, right? What if, for instance, in this training, I teach you all the 7 methods first, then only I go through the elaboration of each of them. Maybe that could be a better product. I do not know because I haven't tested that, but I want you to understand the concept of doing things different. Maybe you can start with the end results and then starts to explain how it all works, right? So something interesting is this, that this product is actually created. Now I want to share with you something interesting. And this may sound very theory based, that it's really good. The scamper technique, I love it, SCAMPER. Understand the formula, but is it really practical? Well, the answer is yes, because I want to share with you something that is very interesting. Do you realize that this product, this training is a video course, right? It's a product. And this product is created based on the scamper technique itself. Now, I don't need to use all of the formulas. The very fact is that when you create your winning product based on the scamper method or the scamper technique, you're not going to use 7 of the formulas. You can just need to use one, and if you drill in deep enough, that one itself is enough for you to revamp and create another winning product. But just to highlight a few of the formulas that are being used in this training, the first one is I substitute the written content into a video. So now you're able to complete the training in a very short period of time, rather than reading, say, a 100-page book, or even say a 20-page white report. And maybe the video is more powerful in terms of you learning the technique rather than reading. Next one, I have also adapt the scamper technique for product creation, specifically for digital product creation, right? And then the other point I want to bring up is that I've actually put, right, this method into a new market, which is the online marketers, which is you, when I'm speaking with you, doing this training for you. So in such a short period of time, I've already used up the 3 formulas here to create a brand new product. And the most exciting part is that if I want, is that this training, and the exciting part is this aha moment. I could create a new product, a new winning product by teaching about Scamper itself. Now think about that, right? So this is, say, a first module of me introducing. So this can be the module of me introducing, well, Scamper technique, right? And it's good, it's great. And I could say create a whole comprehensive training program on the topic of product creation for digital marketers. And then I create more elaborated modules for each of the formula. And like I said, the most interesting part is that I'm literally using Scamper method to actually create this training, and I could be using Scamper Technique again to create a brand new product if I want to do that right now. All right, so there you go. So what you need to do right now, your action item is basically, think of this, right? It's either that you do your research to find a winning product for you to replicate, or should I say for you to observe and then apply the formula, or look into your own product where you feel that, hey, you know what, I should create another product that perhaps can be the next winning product by using this formula. And then from either one of these options, you're going to see which formula, which one of these 7 formulas you want to use, right? And choose one of those and then start your research and start planning it out to start building it. All right. With that said, this is Patric here, and I hope that you have learned some good stuff for today's training. Take care.